Welcome to the beautiful city of Athens, the gateway to the Tennessee Valley, a city rooted in deep community relationships and built on a rich tradition of small local business and the very best of the human spirit. As Athens embraces the future, the signs of progress are in full bloom. Join us as we discover the bright spots in this charming southern city that we call home. This is Hometown Heartbeat, Athens. Whoop, whoop. I'm just kidding. What's going on, everybody? Today is Hometown Heartbeat episode number 41, I think? 40. Well, before, see, yesterday I forgot to say hello to Connor, and he made me feel bad. And so we're going to go to Connor first. Connor, how are you today, buddy?
I'm doing good. I got a haircut yesterday. Taking advantage of all these businesses being real.
And
feel like a new person.
And you didn't have to go to Georgia or Tennessee to do it. Thanks, thank you, Kay Ivey, for that. As is the custom once a week, it's been a week though. We missed a week. Yeah. Last week we missed a week.
That's right.
Life gets busy. Brandon Hargrove, put his lower third back up there one more time. I just want to make sure everybody knows who he is. He is a local mortgage hotshot, in case you're curious. And what that means is, no, he's just a mortgage lender. He's really good at what he does, and we like to give him a hard time by calling him a hotshot. But we usually get in here and talk about the markets and the whatever's going on, and we'll take a minute and talk about that. Give us a market update. Yeah. What does it look like out there right now? What can people expect if they're? I know credit requirements are kind of getting tighter.
A little bit tighter. You know, there's a lot of lenders out there, 620, 640. I've even seen some at 660, 680. But for the most part, we're business as normal. We have a few restrictions under 620. But we're still doing deals under 620. New construction, those items, our company has kind of, we service our own loans. So the company has kind of come back and said, hey, we're going to continue doing that. We're not going to punish people just because of this. We're going to keep this stuff wide open. The problem with it is just there's not a ton of liquidity in the market, Zach. So,
what does that mean? Tell me what that means for people that don't understand that. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so when you these mortgage companies, banks, when they take these large lines of credits out for their mortgages, and then they turn around and sell those back off, and so when that happens, when that gets restricted. They have a hard time getting their cash back to be able to turn the next loan. We've actually heard some lenders, especially in the refinance world, struggle with being able to fund refinances, been kind of putting those on hold a little bit, saying, hey, you're approved. We don't know exactly when you're going to close. But we'll get you closed.
We promise it's going to happen.
And for the most part, that happens. It's just kind of a little delay there. But that's none of that's really affecting us. We're wide open, doing good. Rates are fantastic. They're still 30-year money, conventionally speaking, in the very low threes, sometimes right at 3. Government type lending, FHA, USDA, VA under 3% on a 30-year.
Did you hear that? Under 3% on a 30-year. That's. So what I'm hearing you say, in my best Dr. Phil, is that it's still an okay time to buy a house.
It's a great time to buy a house.
Or refinance.
Yeah, or refinance. And, there's, once again, tons of reasons why people refinance. We feel like we do a great job of asking the right questions, kind of talking through that, making sure. Not every person who calls me wanting to refinance ends with a refinance.
Sure.
It just doesn't work like that. There's a lot of people that don't need to refinance, but there's a ton of people.
Well, I called you and you told me not to refinance.
Yeah.
You asked me some very important questions, like how long do you plan on living in your home?
Yeah. And
it wasn't going to be long enough for me to actually recoup my investment of the closing cost and all that stuff that would be entitled. Good Lord, is it just today, Monday or Friday? Which one is it?
But overall, great time.
Sorry,
absolute great time to buy a house. Go ahead and get pre-approved. Probably. Ask your real estate agent this. Mm-hmm. Probably not a better time to get pre-approved. Inventory is crazy low, and you don't want to be, messing around trying to get your letters and refinance. You just don't have time to get all of that done. You need to be ready to make an offer right now. Issue your approval letter. Get rolling. With that.
That is a fact. We have seen that recently on some of our properties. Is how
Yeah.
I mean, you come in, well, we'd like to make an offer. We got to go get a pre-approval. They gone.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 more coming in right behind them.
Got a customer right now who I think he's on his 4th offer.
Cool.
You know, so we keep doing.
Keep that song and dance keeps rolling.
We keep changing the approval letter up a little bit to to kind of make that work. But yeah,
I think we lost camera 3, Connor. I think what happens, we forgot to plug it in, and so we lost it today, which means no solo shots for Brandon, which I know he's terribly upset about. But so today what we're going to do is we're going to play a new game. It's a game that we've started doing as a result of doing some solo shows. So Connor will pull some headlines, and we'll just throw them at us.
perfect.
And I was going to make you put this away before we started so we could pretend like everything was a surprise, but I did let him read up on one of them.
Been so busy that I don't have
time to stay in the
crazy amount of time of news. So, but this is the only one that I've.
It's the only one. It's the only one either of us have seen. To be fair, we may have given him some suggestions of topics just out of what we wanted to talk about, but I also gave him the latitude to say whatever to throw whatever he wanted to throw at us. So this is his turn to get me back for all those. Hey man, can you fix this right now before we go live in 3 seconds? So Connor, what do we got, man? Hit us with our first headline.
All right. First up, we got NBC, Chuck Todd leaving out a key context in a shortened clip of Attorney General William Barr that they played. I understand that you've read up on this. You know it's all the details of the story, so I'm not going to go into much here if you want to give that to the audience.
Yeah, so that's the one that that's the one that we queued up because it's the one that I really wanted to talk about. And I'm going to read the transcript from that show. I've heard it, and I looked for a clip of it to bring to the show to play for everyone. I couldn't find that in a non-copyrighted package, and so I'm going to read it for you, and I want you to take your own conclusions from this, but mine are, I will happily give you mine when it's said and done. Chuck Todd says, you brought up Bill Barr. Peggy Noonan, I want you to listen to this Bill Barr answer to a question about what will history say about this. Wait until you hear this answer. Take a listen. And they play the tape. And then Attorney General Barr says, when history looks back on this decision, the question asked by Chuck Todd, when history looks back on this decision, how do you think it will be written? Attorney General Bill Barr says, well, history's written by the winners, so it largely depends on who's writing the history. End quote. There's a huge problem with that. First of all, it's not what he said. It's part of what he said. But they went on to lambaste this dude, just wear him out about how pompous could you be? History's written by the winner. History. Well, first of all, it is, for the record. History is absolutely written by the winner. You want to write history? Freaking win. Okay? Period. If you lose, you don't get a say in history. Unfortunately, you'll be written as the people that lost. Okay? And that's not political. That's not left, right, up, down, blue, green, yellow, white. It's just a fact. History is always and has always, for all of recorded history, been written by the winner because the loser's typically not there to tell their side. So, just to be clear on that. Second of all, I'm going to read you the entire quote in its entirety.
Okay.
To put context to it, because as Connor told me today, nothing works without context. And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like some of the things I've said not in context to make them feel better. Anyways, in closing, this was a big decision in the Flynn case, to say the least. This is Attorney General Bill Barr. No, I'm sorry. This is Chuck Todd again. When history looks back on this decision, how do you think it will be written? What will it say about your decision making? This was his answer in its entirety. Well, history is written by the winner, so it largely depends on who's writing the history. But I think a fair history would say that it was a good decision because it upheld the rule of law. It upheld the standards of the Department of Justice, and it undid what was an injustice. And what they're talking about here is the Michael Flynn case. So this whole Michael Flynn thing, like he got caught up in a lie, and he ended up in jail, bankrupt, lost his house, all that. Well, it comes out this last week the Department of Justice is actually going to drop the case against him. They're going to drop the case. You know why? Because the FBI fabricated things. I mean, and I'm not going to dive into but it's a long list of injustices against Michael Flynn in an attempt to gain political capital in the time of transition between Obama and Trump. Okay, and so just painting that picture. So the question here was phrased within the context of that. It was within the context of this decision, the DOJ dropping the charges against Michael Flynn. That was the decision. When history looks back on it, how do you think it'll be written? So with context, what they did was not only irresponsible. It was despicable, quite frankly. Yeah. And journalism as a whole, we talk about this every time you're on. It's dead. Journalism doesn't exist anymore. But I mean, and then of course the apology. Let's talk about the apology. Here's my thing: if you offend someone, or you are an aggressor or a offender towards if I wrong you, mm-hmm. I ought to make it right in the same way that I wronged you. So if I get on this show and I destroy Brandon Hargrove's character, I cannot then just put out a tweet saying, Brandon's a good dude. My bad. I messed up. Like, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm an idiot. And I didn't read everything. I didn't listen to everything. I didn't get all the facts. I just got on here and I just bumped my gums because I just wanted you to listen, or because I was motivated by an agenda, or fill in the blank. And I am so sorry to Brandon. I'm going to bring Brandon on here. I'm going to apologize to him face to face. We're going to talk this thing out. We're going to sit here. We're going to make it right. Why is it that we are unable to do that now? Like, is the hatred for the other side, for the opposition, has it gotten so bad that like we can't even apologize to one another anymore?
I think it has. You know,
is that the world we live in?
I think it is.
Does it scare you?
A little bit. It's terrible, right?
I mean, what? And I mean, that's our first headline, and so like I know we spent 10 minutes on it because it, you know, and that's why I picked it, because I knew. I mean, I've been wronged.
Sure.
You've been wronged. We've all been wronged at some point in our lives, and we expect the remedy for that to be a heartfelt, sincere apology. If it was a public wronging, then it needs to be a public apology.
Yeah, you know, we've had some off the camera discussions. We've had on camera discussions about, you know, the media, as far as their, you know, it's across the board. It's this speed thing. You know, we've got to get it done. We've got to get it. You know, we've got to report on it. We've got to spin it. You know, it's very rare to find something that just gives you the opportunity to draw from facts. Everything has a slide to it. Everything has a spin to it. It's just very hard to do that. So you, all of these guys, it doesn't matter if you watch Fox, CNN, most of the time, all of these guys, they're taking the information in front of them and they're spinning it right up to the level, right up to the limit of what they think they can get by with. Mm-hmm. And a little frustrating, you know, through that. But it's, you know, I think guys in these, guys and girls in these big time
newsrooms, organizations, whatever.
I think there's a whole room of people writing the next apology. I mean,
no doubt.
They're already writing them. They're already writing
Absolutely.
them. So okay, hey, I got a good one.
Yeah. Hey, let's go with this, and let's get the press and publicity that we can get from it, and then we'll apologize.
Yeah. And so I feel like they're back there just, you know, writing. It's creative. You know, we're hiring creative writers to write apologies. Good. I think that's probably what happens.
I think that could be a job I could do. What do you guys think out there? You think I'd be a great creative writer for apologies? I think so. Heartfelt and sincere. Connor, before we go to the next one, I want to get into after that bludgeoning. Let's go into something a little lighthearted here. Jeremy Simpson comments LeBron versus MJ, and he is asking for my opinion on who was better. And if you've been watching The Last Dance, have you? I hope you have.
Yeah.
If you've not watched them all.
I've watched it. I've not watched all of them. I'm 2 behind. So
I mean, I watched him play. For anyone that has watched LeBron James and watched Michael Jordan that thinks LeBron James can touch the hem of the garment that Michael Jordan wore on his worst day, they're crazy. That dude had to motivate himself to beat up on it. Like, all right, so I'm a coach, right? I've been a coach. I'm not a coach currently. I hope to be a coach again as soon as my son starts playing, but I haven't coached in a while. But my biggest thing to my athletes was create your own environment.
By the way, I can't wait to see you be a Little League head coach.
Lord, here
That's
we go.
That's going to be fun. Okay, go back.
No, I can't wait to get thrown out of my first game with my son and wife watching. But no, Sorry, now you got me all sidetracked. I'm over here thinking about the first umpire's going to get it from me. But no, so like we talk about creating your own environment all the time, right? Now I was coaching at a higher level than like 8-year-olds. Like we were coaching 16, 17-year-old kids going to college to play ball, like kids that were playing in College World Series is down the road. Like, so this was high level baseball, but we've always talked about create your own environment. You have to come into the game or the situation and create your own environment, because oftentimes you're a superior team, you're a superior player, you're whatever to the opposition, and if you're not careful, you get that tail whooped.
Yeah.
Because if you don't create your own environment and make it's everything's game 7, Michael Jordan had to literally create his own environment to play everyone.
Yeah.
Like, he would make stuff up.
Yeah.
The guy said, "Good game, MJ." Like, he never said that.
Yeah.
The guy went out and hung. What they did to Tony Kukoc in the first Dream Team game.
Oh, yeah. I have seen that.
Oh, my. First of all, that Dream Team practice session
Awesome.
is one of the best videos I've ever seen in my entire life. But Michael Jordan, what Michael Jordan did was, there's never been another athlete in a team sport, and I'll say this, including Bo Jackson, and that's a tough one for me because I still think he's the greatest athlete of all times. I mean, no question about it. And I think LeBron may fall number 2 in that category because LeBron is certainly one of the greatest athletes of our time. No question about it.
Unbelievable.
But as far as what Michael Jordan did on a basketball court, there is nobody in recorded human history that could walk in and, I mean, literally, you hear his opposition. Yeah. You hear the guys that play against him say, "Come on, man. Why'd you do that? Why'd you say that to him? Why'd you?" And when he went and played baseball, for those of you that don't know and haven't watched The Last Dance, there's a documentary called Jordan Rides the Bus, and it's a 30 for 30. It's one of the best ones I've ever seen.
It's good.
He was one of the best. If he would have stuck with baseball, no doubt in my mind, he would have been an everyday player in the major leagues and probably made an all-star team. What people don't understand is he literally just jumped into baseball, having not played since he was 16, I think they said, or something like that, and hit 202 against the best prospects in the world. Mm-hmm. That means 20% of the time he got a hit against the best prospects in the world. And then when the strike happened, and this is a really cool part of this, that strike in Major League Baseball, it changed the course of recorded human history. Think about this. If the strike doesn't happen, Michael Jordan's still playing ball. Probably makes his way all the way to the big leagues. Because of the strike, he gets bored. He goes back to Chicago. Little dude gets him to come to practice. He goes to practice, and that's in the episode you haven't watched yet. Yeah. But he goes to practice. Next thing you know, he's back. I mean, because you lived it. Yeah. We both watched. I mean, he's back in a Bulls uniform wearing 45. Mm-hmm. And then there was a sign there. Or no, one of the players said 45 ain't 23. And the next night he showed up in 23 and hung 60 on him.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan is the best basketball player to ever grace this planet. Yeah. There will never be anyone that can touch him, I don't think.
Possible.
It's possible, but I mean, and it's hard. And I'm one of these guys that likes to talk about athletes in eras. Like, it's hard to compare Mark McGuire to, say, I don't know, Giancarlo Stanton, right? It's hard because they were different eras, different balls, different bats, different needles, all the above. And so, but Michael Jordan, dude, what he did on a basketball court.
He just had the absolute.
Oh my gosh.
He had the ability. What was so cool about Michael Jordan was the ability to adapt. To whatever was in front of him.
In air.
It just didn't matter if it was speed. It didn't matter if it was strength, right? How Michael Jordan changed not just himself but changed a team to beat Detroit.
Oh yeah.
Super cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And just through the course of time, him changing his game to make it work. LeBron's awesome, right? I mean, he's fantastic.
One of the best athletes of all time.
He's almost. I compare him more to Magic than I do because he could play a 1, or even he's big enough to play a 5. He's aggressive enough to play a 5. But man, it would have driven me nuts. It would have been like watching flopping in soccer to watch him cry. About getting beat up by Detroit.
Oh, dude, that was the one thing I took away from the first part or the first couple episodes was, wow, what a difference 10 years makes in the NBA. It's a different game.
It is different.
You breathe on people the wrong way nowadays.
Yeah. I have this love-hate relationship with the little dude.
Yeah, me too.
I can't even remember his name because
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I can almost appreciate what he was able to put together and keep and string. But then there's this frustration part of
what's his name. The freaking point guard for Detroit. Golly, he and Michael hate each other. What?
Isaiah Thomas.
There it is. There he is, Isaiah Thomas. Thank you.
Oh, so that's who you were talking about?
Well, what? No, what little dude? You're talking about the little dude on his team?
No, I'm talking about the general manager dude.
Oh, Jerry. He ain't nothing little about him. He big old boy.
Well,
he's short. He's a
little
round thing.
Yeah.
But we talking about. No, I can't stand Jerry.
I can
Jerry.
Almost appreciate what he was able to do and change.
Hold on a minute. Yeah. Hold on a minute. How can you say that about Jerry? He looked at Phil Jackson after he'd won 5 NBA titles and was on their way to their 6th and said, "Hey, buddy, I don't care what you do this year. I don't care how good you think you are. I don't care how many championships you can win in 1 year. You're gone."
That was the frustrating.
Dumbest move in sports history.
Was the frustrating part of watching him, right? But look at all the other things he was able to put together. It was crazy. it just didn't make sense. The end didn't make sense.
No, you're absolutely
And I haven't
right.
even. I mean, I lived it. I remember all of that. I just can't remember. Right. I can't remember all these little details.
No, you're right.
About watching it. But man, he was able to put some, killer deals together. Like when he hired Phil Jackson.
Yeah, when he got Phil, when he went and got Kukoc. I mean,
Jordan comes out and says, "Yeah, I wasn't a big Jackson fan. He was trying to take the ball out of my hands." But once again, it showed you how he was able to change the way he played. He got it. He was able to adapt, unlike anyone else.
No, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
No, and at the end of the day, if you watch that documentary at all, the hopelessness that I hear it strikes me, and throughout this thing, how much identity this man put into and look, we're worshiping this guy right now because guess what? At his craft, he was the best. Yeah. But his life ended when basketball ended.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've just really taken out of this thing is watching these guys worship this game and their identity that is so deeply rooted only in that like literally like he's like, what else do I have to do? What else do I have to accomplish? What do I have to look forward to? Where am I going to go? Like he's got all the money he wants. He's got all the championships he could ever imagine. Yeah. He's got every record in the record book, and he still is empty. And you can see it, you can hear it in him. Like it's like these athletes that don't know Jesus, like they're constantly chasing the next, and that's anybody. It's not just an athlete, right? It's anybody that doesn't know Jesus and how they chase the next whatever. Yeah. Jeremy Simpson says, "What about Pippen? Could he have done it without him?" Absolutely, he could have. Now Pippen, don't get me wrong, I've got mad love for Pippen. Yeah, I think Pippen made some terrible decisions. Like if you've watched episodes 7 and 8, which you've not seen yet, you'll see the infamous quitting episode, where he just sits down, and Kukoc takes the final shot, and when I'm watching that, I'm like, holy crap, I forgot that even happened. Yeah. And immediately I found myself disappointed in Pippen. Like he was a me guy. He was a me guy the whole time. Now that being said, like he had family members that were relying on his financial help. Like he had a different upbringing and a different background than Jordan, and so you got to give him that. Do I think Jordan is as good without Pippen? I don't. I mean, every Batman needs a Robin, and so that was his Robin, and they were fantastic together. But I think that Jordan could have taken any. I think Jordan could have taken the guy at Publix that's 20 pounds overweight, but played a little bit back in the day. And probably won a few titles with him.
Baby. So Pippen was pretty good. I mean, he
was. He was the second best player in the league.
Yeah.
Don't get that twisted. I mean, you hear me, Jeremy? I'm saying he was the second best player in the league.
Yeah. But what I thought, if you have not watched it,
and Kathy Hargrove, she's watched us a couple times, and I've not said hello. So today we're saying hello. She commented that she's watching, and we're letting you know, Kathy, that we've got your comment, and it's great to have you with us today. Go ahead. What you were saying about Pippen?
Yeah, the how he signed the contract, all of that first contract, right? Yeah.
And his own GM was like, dude, don't sign this.
Yeah.
Bro, don't sign this. This is not the right contract for you. And and again, it goes back to the whole inequality in a lot of these sports, and a lot of the reason why you have, and inequality is not the right word, but a lot of reasons why you have the youth, the urban youth of America that they go to the football scholarship and then they go to the NFL, and then life looks very different for them than it does, like say Peyton Manning or someone who came from an established, financially stable, mom and dad environment. Like, and so Pippen chose his family immediately and said, you know what, I'll take guaranteed money over a longer period of time, even though it's less money, then I will taking a risk on myself. And I don't know if it was because he didn't believe in himself. I think, personally, he wasn't the player he was without Michael. Yeah. And so he probably didn't know his own value, because without Michael, his value wouldn't have been what it was. And so at the time, he probably signed a great deal. Yeah. He probably signed a great deal. Here's the other thing about contracts, folks. They're enforceable. And unless it says so in the paper, it doesn't expire. And so they don't have to change it. And so when you sign it, do I think that maybe we should reevaluate things and say, but look, the franchise owner was like, hey, man, I don't do that. Like, when you sign a contract with me, bro.
Yeah. He let them know up front.
He did.
He did.
No, I mean, this Last Chance documentary is like appointment. Yeah. There's not many things in my life that are appointment TV. Even my wife, even Ashley, is like.
Yeah. Holly's really enjoyed it.
It's unbelievable. The language is. I mean,
she was shocked by the language. She thought ESPN.
Well, she hadn't been in a locker room, so.
Well, no, but But it's really
I mean,
raw.
have you watched the TVMA version or the TV14 version, or both?
I have no idea.
So you have to look for them because there's one is like the unedited version and one is like tuned down.
I can't imagine we're watching the edited one.
Oh, contraire, my friend. I thought I was. I thought the same thing, and I turned on the old TVMA version when Dennis Rodman was talking. Let me tell you something. I learned things about Carmen Electra I can't unsee. Okay. All right. What's our next headline over, Connor?
All right. Switching. You got my mic on?
Yep. There it is.
Switching gears here, we have. Hang on.
I got him fired up about Michael Jordan, and then there we go.
There we go. Washington state restaurants are ordered to keep logs of customers when reopening after the coronavirus.
What's up, surveillance state?
There's the state dine-in services must create a daily log of customers and maintain that daily log for 30 days, including telephone and email contact information and time in.
Well, they're going to love that.
Right. Who's
the
going to
restaurant?
love that? Oh yeah, the restaurant's just going to be. They're going to be fired up about.
Well,
that.
I mean, they're going to be able to get, information, data, right? I mean, will they not like that part of it?
All right. So in retail, right? I mean, you collect that data at point of sale. So unless they're paying cash, you're going to collect that data anyways. And so
phone numbers, emails.
No, but you can get enough. I mean, when in our store, you'd only get it. You only get a receipt if you give me a phone number and email. Yeah. I'll text it or email it, one of the two, because I'm going to collect data from you in one way or the other.
Yeah.
But you're right about that. No, you're absolutely the most valuable commodity in any business, and anyone that tells you anything other than this is stupid. The most valuable commodity in business is data, and quite frankly, some of the biggest businesses in the world are data collection and data mining services, such as Facebook, Google, YouTube, whatever. Right? These things, they mine your data and then they sell those lists. And I don't care what they say. They've ended up in congressional hearings testifying about. Yeah. That exact thing. So if you think I'm making it up, you're also dumb. I'm kidding. I love you. I love all of you. But no, I have a hard time with the police state, like the surveillance state piece of this. Like what? First of all, no government is going to tell me to log, unless you're the Federal Bureau of Tobacco and Firearms or whatever it is, ATF, and I've got to keep a log of the sales legally to continue. Like, I don't have to register to eat taquitos.
Right. So
unless my cheese dip comes with a side of 9mm and rounds to go with it, I'm not registering for anything. You're not getting my data. I tell you what I won't be doing. I won't be eating out in Washington State because there's no way in the world I'm registering. What is the point, Connor? Do you have any idea what the point is and what they're hoping to accomplish over there?
This article doesn't seem to say. It just says that this is phase 2 of a 4-phase plan to reopen businesses in the state. And this is one of 13 criteria that restaurants have to meet, most of them along the lines of... so you must make hand sanitizer available at the entry for all staff and patrons. No bar seating is permitted. And if you don't have table service, you must have protocols in place to ensure social distancing. All parties and tables must be 5 guests or less. It's stuff like that. No buffets or salad bars. Single-use menus are required.
Oh my!
And
I love the 5. You're gonna have the odd wheel.
Yeah, you couldn't even take your family to dinner.
I couldn't even take my
family. You couldn't even go to dinner. I mean, for the love of God.
2 couples and a friend.
Be the fifth wheel on that one. Why couldn't you go to 6? Come on, Washington. Why couldn't you go to 6? I just don't understand that. I just don't understand that at all. But again, this is where I've said this over and over again for 39 or 40 or however many days this has been. People, remember the way your governor has responded during this crisis when Election Day comes around again. This is your time to speak. This is your time to make your displeasure heard. If you live in a state where your little governor thought they could run around like a tyrant and do whatever the heck they wanted to, unchecked by you, the citizen, now is your time to speak. If you like it, great. If you're out there in Washington and you're like, you know what? I don't mind, spending extra money. Look, I've already lost everything. I've already lost it all. 47% of businesses aren't opening back up again. So I've already lost it all. Yeah, of course, I'll invest in. Here's where left on left crime. I just thought about this. I just thought about this. We have left on left. We need a siren, Connor. I need a siren. I need a sound effect siren for left on left crime. Because right now what we have here is a fight between tree huggers and tyrants. Single-use menus are going to kill so many trees that it shouldn't be sustainable for the health of the tree population there in Washington State. How in the world is the left going to possibly reconcile those two things? We cannot both have single-use menus and save the trees. Like that's hilarious to me. I just thought about that.
That's true. So I want to hear your siren next time.
Well, we will have one.
Here's your question.
Hit me.
So I've had I've got a ton of restaurant friends, right? A lot of great people that I know that own and operate restaurants. Have you missed restaurants? Personally, you?
Yes. No, I'm lying.
No?
I'm trying to miss them. No, I'm
been
a homebody.
It's been really, really interesting. What we've just talked about at our house and amongst some friends, we miss the social aspect of a restaurant.
I don't have any friends, so I usually eat at the house.
Going out to eat, our food has been a lot better. Holly's a great cook.
Yeah.
It's great quality. We've got our family there. It's going out to eat. We're excited about turning on the social part of that again, right?
No doubt.
Going out and sharing a meal with some friends and enjoying the time. But it's really been interesting to watch. I have not went through one fast food restaurant. It's been at least 5 weeks. Besides Bojangles. Now Bojangles is different.
It's not different. It's the same.
Is it different?
I think so.
It is different.
I think so.
No, but as far as food, I don't eat. I just get some unsweet tea.
And
hang out with some friends. But in the parking lot.
Oh, do you really?
We've done that.
Awesome.
We've done that 2 or 3 times. But
that's what happens when you get old, folks.
Anyway, I was just curious. How many people have missed restaurants because it's really changed. What we have done as far as now we've went out a few times and have ordered out and picked it up
curbside or whatever.
But we brought it back home, and man, we've really enjoyed that. It's been a lot of fun, and so I'm curious what that would. But it has really changed my fast food. Food.
It's changed a lot, dude. It's changed a lot for everybody.
Just for me personally.
No, and I think that's an interesting point. I think the social aspect, like humans we're innately social creatures, and we long to be with one another. We long to be in fellowship with and in community with other humans. And so taking that away from humans, I think you're going to see that response. And honestly, I'm not going to go there today. Yes, I think that it's absolutely going to change everything moving forward. I think that we're all excited. I don't eat out. I eat out a ton, but I like to take it home. I like to be.
So you already do that.
This hadn't changed a lot for me. My wife likes to go out to dinner every now and again. And I should probably take her out more often because she's pretty and I like to show her off and all that. But at the same time, I just like to stay in. I just like to be at the house. I don't like to
I bet y'all confuse a lot of people when people see you and your wife.
Yeah, they think I'm like her Uncle Duke or something, like I'm or some guy that paid her to go to dinner with me. I don't know. But no, we confuse this not. But then they look at Zayden and they're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
That's him with. Yeah. They like, does he have if I put a beard on him, does he look? Yep. Oh, yep. There he is. Identical. All right, Connor. Hit us with another headline before we got one more time for one more probably. Sean Hollis joining. Sean, I'm still waiting for you to come join us.
All right, last headline. China put pressure on the World Health Organization to scale back coronavirus warning in order to stockpile supplies, according to the CIA. So basically, the CIA believes that China tried to prevent the World Health Organization from warning other countries about the coronavirus outbreak in January as it worked to stockpile medical supplies from countries across the world in a panic.
Connor's putting the heat on us today. Connor knows what's going on. He's trying to get me to my Friday rant before Friday.
Sure possible, Connor.
The connection between the Who, and that's not the band, the great band that sang many great songs, but the World Health Organization, the connection between them and China is terrifying.
Yeah.
If you go down that rabbit trail, be prepared to have your little tiny heart broken because it's terrifying. The connection. We're going to go to one more. Do you have one more headline, Connor?
If you believe for a minute that China has your best interest in mind.
That's a great one. Let's sum it up like that. Yeah. If you believe for one moment that China has your best or our best or anybody but their communistic regime's best interest in mind, you, my friend, I've got some swampland I need to sell you in Florida. Okay. One more headline. Hit us with one that's not so China heavy, because that's gonna I might get called a racist or something.
How about this? All right, nearly 200
Yep.
Nearly 200 goats escape enclosure and run free in a
Now
California
that's
neighborhood.
what I'm
That's
talking
great.
about. Play that video right there. Pull that.
It's
Can you
playing,
pull that
it's
video
playing.
up? Make it full. No, you can't.
Oh,
okay.
you want
Look at
like
that.
that?
No, it's fine. Yeah, there it is. Look at that.
Goats everywhere.
Goats, that, my friend, tribe of about 200 goats escaped from a nearby fenced-in area. First of all, if you're the guy that maintains that fenced-in area,
Yeah.
going to be a tough afternoon for you.
I was
You know
16 years old.
this is going to be good.
I cut a gentleman's yard. His name was Waylon Spurgeon.
Waylon?
Waylon Spurgeon. And
That's
his wife was my second grade school teacher. And he had a little barn. I had a little, it was, if I remember correctly, it was a little Ford tractor with a little finishing bush hog kind of on the back of it.
finishing mower on the back. Yeah.
And so I would cut the front yard. Occasionally, he would have me cut something in the kind of in the back. And I went home and I got a phone call that I'd left the gate open and all their goats.
Did they have
Yeah,
200 of them?
Well, it looked like that in my mind, but maybe they didn't quite have 200.
Yeah, that's a good one to end on there, Connor. That's an
200
uplifting.
goats.
That's an uplifting. I mean, here's the thing. Like, what would you do if you turned down the old road there on Saratoga and you're like, "Meh," and there's 200 goats just running at you? They're not. I mean,
That'd
don't
be
get me
awesome,
wrong.
actually. I mean-
They're not in a hurry.
Right,
like they're
right.
not running at you like a bull.
Right.
So I used to hunt on a ranch down in Texas with one of my sister's old boyfriends back in the day. And when you would open the gate, like these exotic animals would come running at your truck because it was feed time, they thought, right? Like this is a high fence ranch where you go and harvest. It's not really hunting. You just go kill an animal. And so I never really hunted it, but I got to go down there and be a part of it with him. And it was really neat. I mean, you get to see that, you get to be that close to 250-inch deer or whatever. But it was always terrifying to me. Like I'm in a lifted GMC pickup truck and I would open that gate and here they would come and my wife was with me and she lost her mind. She was like, what are we going to, and I'm like, meh, hammering it. Like, and I'm trying to get, and all the animals, and they're coming, it was terrifying. So I can't imagine, you turn down the road. Malin Jones says, going to be a fun barbecue with all them goats. I'm hoping Malin's going to deliver me some barbecue tomorrow. I hope he doesn't bring me goat barbecue. Have you ever eaten goat?
I have eaten goat.
Really? I was hoping that was a no.
No, there was
Hard pass?
I think it was, if I remember correctly, in Elkmont there was a goat stew. Boss Hill, I'm thinking that was his name. Somebody can check that out, or tell us if I'm right or wrong. But I don't know if Boss. I can't remember if he was. I can't remember what he was, some political figure, like a local political figure. But I think it was Elkmont. I think they had a goat stew. Yeah, something like that.
I'm gonna have to try that.
I remember the event. I just can't remember who
Connor,
it was.
what do you think about goat stew? Put the camera on you over there for a minute there, boss. He loves getting away without having to get on camera.
I'm going to put this on the screen. Apparently, it's a thing. There's many recipes on Google if you look up goat stew.
Brandon, don't you love how kids today, like, and Connor is far and away the most mature young man that probably runs in my sphere. He and your son are very good friends, so your son speaks very highly of your son and his maturity. Ian's always been very mature.
Right.
Can you, do you understand a world where they grew up with Google from day one?
Yeah.
Like literally, you said goat stew. In 3 seconds, he had a recipe. It was acceptable socially and
His mind first quickly goes to Google.
Googler.
Mine goes to some Elkmont
goat
Boss
stew,
Hill,
Boss
goat
Hill,
stew, I don't
Chevrolet factory of cheese and stuff.
I don't know.
All right, guys. Look, it is 3:45, and that means we are. It is time to leave you. We are working on Malin Jones and Hootenanny Barbecue is our first sponsor of this here show, and that's because their barbecue is unbelievable. Malin says the only thing perfect that God made was his barbecue. Tomorrow, I will have some of that barbecue, and maybe I'll bring it in here and I'll show it to you. But I certainly will on Friday. And so if you haven't checked out Hootenanny Barbecue, we're working on a little ad for him, but there it is, Hootenanny Barbecue. Check him out. Malin's a good dude. Hey, look, I've always heard never trust a skinny cook. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, now he's not a big boy, but you can tell he knows how to eat. And if they know how to eat, they know how to cook. And so, Malin, good looking out, buddy. We're flipping him a house right now. He and his wife are buying one of our properties on Hines Street. So we're super excited. We're about to get them on a video. He is fired up. He sent me his contract with his green room demands and his daily stipend and daily rate and all that. And so I'm going to have my people get in touch with his people and see if we can pull it off. But
I hope you can work it out.
I'm sure we can. Guys, listen, it is Wednesday, and as you know, that means tomorrow's Thursday. And so we'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully my sister will join us. I've told her that there's no way she gets out of that since she's here.
Awesome.
So I'm just going to go kidnap her and bring her up here, and we're going to do this tomorrow. In the meantime, guys, we love you. As always, you can find us on Apple, iTunes, Podcast, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. You can find the replay on YouTube, on Facebook, or just simply Google us, as Connor would do. Connor, thank you for everything you do. Brandon, it's always a pleasure. Connor, take it away, buddy.